Okay, good morning, everybody. I
Good morning.
heard Jeff said he wasn't going to be here, but I didn't hear from anybody else. Laura, do you know if Matt's coming?
I'm sorry, I don't know if Matt's coming.
Okay, doesn't matter, but we have a
Okay.
quorum, so we're good.
Sorry.
Okay, anybody from the public, Bill? Okay.
Nobody in attendance.
Let's just do the administrative stuff and then maybe we can jump to you, Laura, so you can give us your programming update quickly and okay, so approval of the May minutes to send out with the meeting. Can I get a
I'll,
motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
second.
Spence, any discussion?
Nope.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, correct. Commissioners, we still need one. Haven't heard of anybody, but keep your eyeballs open and hopefully somebody will raise their hand to fill the final slot on the commission. I'm gonna skip the finance for now and we'll go to Laura for programming. Hi, Laura.
Good morning. Sorry, I'm on my phone, and if my dog barks, I apologize. Programming, we are actually in a pretty good spot considering that we're in July. There's a whole bunch of adult education programming from April and May that never made it to the air that we're airing now. So it's nice to have some original, first run stuff rather than reruns as we usually do at this point in time. So we've got those running. And then in terms of original programming, I heard from Samantha Cousins, who is the town's public health nurse, and she would like to put together some programming. She wants to interview some people, some seniors, just to talk about life before vaccines to help promote the flu vaccine for this year, which I think is a great idea. So I told her, whatever they need, let me know. I'm on board. We'll go to the senior center. People can come to the studio if they want to record there. So that's one thing. I also
So would
reached
those
out.
be like spots or a whole program?
I'm not sure what they're going to be yet. I think it's going to depend on how much these people have to say. They could be either or both.
Okay.
And then I spoke with Rena Bacalar because something had already gone out about Restaurant Week. So I asked Rena if she wanted to maybe go to some of the participating restaurants and just start recording some short teasers that they could use and then I use. Oh, Matt just emailed Bill. He said for some reason his phone isn't letting him access the Zoom link, so he's having a hard time getting in.
Yeah, I just resent it.
Okay, thank you. So I
when
spoke to
when is Restaurant Week?
Restaurant Week isn't until October, I believe.
Uh-huh.
But I had suggested possibly going to some of the participating restaurants, maybe just doing a real quick, like, hey, you could come get a great deal here in October when Restaurant Week happens. So we just need to follow up and make that happen. Those will be short interstitials that we can use on the station. We can use them on social media, and then economic and community development can use them in their socials as well. And then the last thing I was thinking is that I don't know how easy this will be going into a new school year, but I wanted to reach out to Katie Boland because we still have, I don't know if you remember, but in 2019, which was 6 years ago, quite a while ago, we did a short series called Know Your Government, where we had the kids just give a little 2-minute synopsis of what each of the elected offices in town do. What's in 2 minutes, what is the first selectman responsible for? What's the treasurer? What about the Board of Assessment Appeals? Things like that. And we ran those as interstitials.
Was it that long ago?
Yes.
Oh
I
my
remember
gosh.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I
Wow.
had to look back again because they were dated on the server. It said 2019. So I would like to update those. I don't have the scripts. Actually, I probably do somewhere. I could find them if I had to.
Well,
Oh, here
Katie
comes
probably
Matt.
has them too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm here now. Sorry
Hey,
about
Matt.
that.
Hey,
Hey, Matt.
Hi.
Okay, glad you made
Hello.
it. So I'm just recapping the original stuff that's coming up. So I think, the Know Your Government stuff, I would definitely like to re-record with some of Katie's new We the People kids. I would love to get the AV club involved and getting them in the studio and getting them recording some stuff. Also, um, So that's where we're at with original programming. And again, I have to tip my hat to Matt for producing graduation. Jens was on camera, did an awesome job. Graduation, it came out fantastic. I can't thank everybody enough. And Jens, you were such a huge help coming in on Monday to help me to help with rehearsal, first of all, and then Tuesday morning to help get all the equipment. Kate, we have never had a situation where, we got back into the school, we got out, got everything set up, and we basically we were waiting for the audio to get ready. Because the decision to record outside was so late because they wanted it to be outdoors. So, I mean, we were waiting on that. And
Wow.
which was fantastic. And I have to thank Lucy. I have to thank Jens for that. So huge hat tip. And Matt, again, thank you so much. Did an awesome job producing it from the press box.
Yeah,
So
I'll second that. Matt was cool.
yes.
Just
Thank you,
you know,
guys.
cool as you need to be in a
Yeah.
situation.
Calm on
No
fire.
yelling or anything like that.
And I
Thank
watched
you so
it.
much.
I watched it live streamed, and I was incredibly impressed with the split screen and and I was watching to see kids that I know graduate. So
Cool.
it was fantastic. Well done.
Hey Lara, I have a
Yes.
comment to
Thank
your.
you so much. I really appreciate it. I had a
Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
Oh no, that's all I was saying. Just thank you, and I had a good time.
A good job and a good time. That's a home run. So
Double
That's
bonus. Yeah.
So Lara, regarding the restaurant week, not
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just going to mute real quick because I'm going to transfer to the car. I'm taking my phone with me. So
okay. Lara's hair is bigger today than normally, I think.
it's the humidity frizz. Come on. You don't know about that.
I didn't hear
We
that
all have
comment.
it.
I just heard, all I hear, as you can tell, is barking. I just heard my hair is something, but
It just seems it's larger.
oh,
But it's
yes.
I've just been told it's the frizz, the
Humidity.
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 Yes.
Factor.
Yes. I forgot my no frizz product. All right, hang on.
Wish I had something to lend you, but
Vince might have some.
Yeah, let me check my inventory.
Okay, my beloved. All right, hold. All right, I'm gonna turn my video off and my audio on.
Okay.
I'm
good.
back.
We can
Sorry.
hear you.
Cool.
Yeah,
Busy time of year.
So,
Yes.
what I wanted to suggest or mention is that not all restaurants are part of Restaurant Week. So, should we get some testimonials from the restaurants that are, assuming that they make a profit or that the Restaurant Week is beneficial to them, to show to the restaurants that aren't participating?
that's a great idea. Laura, why don't you talk to Rena about that? I'm sure she would love something that can help get more people on board with the program.
That's actually, yes, I agree. That's a great idea, Jens. I will definitely mention that to her that, we discussed this morning and that was a suggestion because you're right. I do know that there are restaurants who, may or may not participate for a number of reasons. And this would be a great way to get some of the ones who are hesitant to kind of get over that bridge and
Yeah. Okay.
get some
Awesome.
traffic.
Okay. Anything else on programming, Laura?
Programming. Not that I can think of right now. We've got the concerts that we're recording. I've started to add some adult education programming back to the roster now that we're in a new fiscal year. But that said, it's not going to be at the same volume that it is during the year just because it's summer. So normally at this point, we're just running reruns with the exception of the concerts. And we have, maybe 2 or 3 weeks more of original programming, which is nice. So, with just the concerts might be, August. So August might be rerun heavy, but again, it always is, which is fine. But then the end of the month, we start picking things up with back to school events, the teacher convocation and back to school nights and, transition things for middle school and high schoolers.
And since this is
So
a
that is-
local election year, we probably need to start thinking about election night coverage, because that is something
Yes.
that original programming that is of value. And this may be a great opportunity to use the Trumbull High AV Club more aggressively than we have.
Agreed.
In addition,
And then
in addition to Katie's, We the People team, so.
I would love to put them together. I don't know how often, I haven't seen Jeff Cochran in over the summer. I don't blame him. But once the teachers get back in, I'll definitely reach out to him, and I'd love to connect him with Katie Boland and see how they can work together, and maybe creating some B-roll content and changing it up a little bit and giving everybody a little bit of an opportunity to make it new.
Got it. I'm just making that note. Okay, do you want to keep going with technical, Laura? Do you want to keep going with technical, or do you want to? We're having trouble hearing you.
I'm going through a dead area. Yeah, I'm in a dead spot right now. Hold on.
All right, well, why don't I jump back to finance, and then we'll come back to technical. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So the 20 fiscal year 20.
You can hear me again because I just drove through a. Okay.
Yeah, we couldn't hear any of that. So I'm gonna jump back to finance, and then we'll come back to technical.
Yeah, that's fine. I just went through a dead spot.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so finance, we just finished the 2025 fiscal year, June 30th. We're still getting everything paid, all of our invoices paid. Laura, if you've got anything, besides your own invoices, like that check request you had for graduation, anything that hasn't been paid, you gotta let me know, because finance department is gonna be fully staffed apparently next week. So anything that's residual, I wanna make sure we intentionally get it flushed through the system and counted in the right fiscal year.
Okay, I will make sure that I go through all that and double check.
Okay, great. I have all of your invoices, though. They've already been sent over for confirmation that they're gonna be paid, but it's anything else that should be in the
Yeah.
fiscal year 25 that I wanna make sure we get in there and gets paid, so
Okay.
our financials are right.
Right.
And then we move on to the 26th budget, which got approved as we had hoped, so we'll get to start afresh. Any questions on that? Next meeting, I will have, where we ended up exactly on 2025. I'm just behind on a lot of things, so.
Kate, at some point, can you and I just go over roughly how many hours per month of programming I should aim for,
Yes,
just to sort of prevent another,
well, that's why I want to
close.
see, where we are, so yeah, we'll definitely do that.
I love
Okay,
I love you too.
all right, Laura, back to you on technical, so.
Okay. All right. And I'm at the high school, so now you can put my
Yay.
I can put my camera back on. Technical. Well, the Sling Studio equipment, as we know, is still working, knock wood. But I do still think we should, when we are able, invest in some replacement technology, because again, while it's fantastic and does what it's supposed to do, it's also no longer in production and not
Yep.
not supported. So that's number one. The UPS, we can only plug 1 or 2 things in. So I know that we had changed priorities as far as the big projects, and we're aiming on replacing the servers. We had moved that to the highest priority based on the conversation that Jens and I had with Donnie. So once that happens, then that UPS situation should be resolved, because that's, as I recall, that's part of the package.
Yep.
And as far as I can tell, you know, again, as Donnie said, the studio is still fine. The ATEM is old, but it's still working.
Okay. All right, then the VOD audio quality.
I think
The
I brought that up.
inconsistency, yeah.
I haven't looked into it any further, and
Okay,
I
so
don't have
just-
any comments on it
We'll
right
leave it
now.
on the agenda
Yeah.
for next time. Okay. And then the community room at the library, we were,
I've yet
Yes.
to speak to Don.
okay. We were gonna get another HDMI out cable, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, so we'll just leave that for next time. Okay, then on to marketing. Amanda.
Yes. I met with Lara this week for something other than TCTV, but we did discuss weekly when she puts out the list of live shows. She's going to suggest what from that should be highlighted, so that can kind of help me start to build out the social media. Also, the lull of summer is actually great for also building the schedule. So I'm going to start doing that weekly, Monday, Wednesday, Friday posts, and also try to even share some of local events that are happening, just to try to bring other followers over to us. So like I had mentioned last time, Trumbull Historical Society has been doing a great job with their social media. So by sharing their stuff, it might bring some of their followers over. And also the Trumbull Library has really stepped up their game. They have a TikTok page too. So
Wow.
They just rebranded too. They've got a brand new logo, so they have a whole big push for that as well.
yeah, so I'm hoping that by sharing some of their stuff too, we can get some of their followers over to us as well, and then also raise the viewership that way. I have not pursued the printing of the cards yet, but that's going to be my focus for the next month. We'll get that done so that when we start going back in to do all of that original footage, that we'll have that for the library and the Historical Society or anybody else. And that's about it from me.
I think that timing makes sense, Amanda, because as, excuse me, as I said, there's not a lot of, I should say there's less original programming happening during the summer months. So I think once September comes and all the meetings and all the adult education stuff picks up, we'll be in a good spot to have all those things in place.
Yep, agree.
Okay, and then we were gonna work on scripts to use before and after the events to
Yeah.
promote availability.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. I wrote something up, and so it just what I want to do is kind of package the script and some of the handouts that the handout cards that we're going to have, and then just bring it
Okay.
over to each of those areas.
Okay, cool. This is more than we have ever done, so
Yeah.
it's like amazing. So whatever we need to do to support you, though, you gotta let us know. I mean, I know you
I
and
will.
Laura are working together, but I feel like we really have a strategy now gelling
Yeah.
of what we're gonna promote, how to cross promote, when to highlight certain opportunities or events. So and we'll have enough time, hopefully, to see some data to
Right.
support the success. I would love to know, Laura, what if we saw any increase in graduation watching.
I'll have to
Because
check. Last I checked, we had like 3,000, over 3,000 views.
yeah, I'm hoping because it sounds like the quality was really good, that
Yeah, it was excellent.
that there was additional viewership, happening real time as people said, oh,
Right.
go to go to the TCTV website or whatever Facebook page and watch.
Right.
Rather than other years that are like, you can't hear what's going on or whatever.
That's a huge number.
Yeah, that's bigger than I think we've ever had, Laura, isn't it?
I'd have to double check. I can check
I
it
want
out.
to
and
say
let you know.
1,500. Well, but let's get the data, but
I
that
feel
will
like
be,
it's around between 2,000 and 2,500.
okay, well, that's demonstrable. That's great stuff to be
Yeah.
able to bring to First Selectmen, Board of Finance, Town Council, when the time comes that, their investment in us is producing more value for the residents of Trumbull, so.
Yes.
It reminds me, sorry, I forgot an item in the technical department. It's mostly for Matt's consumption. The transmitter on my camera was the power was dangerously low on it, and the charger that was used for it was only a 0.7 amp USB power, and I've charged it with a real power supply. It holds power just fine. So, in my opinion, I mean, we need to test it, but it's fully functional. We just need to get another USB power source for it.
Which is great because it's an easy fix.
Yeah.
Okay, so Laura, you got that, you and Matt we'll figure that out,
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And Jens and I had discussed that as well.
okay. All right, what else do we have? Last thing I had was on Trumbull High was update on the inaugural daily announcements, which I think you said last time, Laura, was gonna happen before the end of the school year, but I'm not 1,000%.
I don't know if that actually happened. We recorded it. But I was not the person. Jeff had put that together. So since that's an AV club thing and that's his purview. So I don't know if a final video ever went out or not. It was really, it got really close to the end when we were recording. So I'm not entirely
So
sure what happened.
one edition or one
Yeah.
was recorded. We don't know if it actually made it.
Pieces of episodes were recorded. The studio performance was recorded. The main announcements and then sports were recorded. I don't know if they were edited together and packaged as a final episode or not.
Okay. Baby steps, we'll get there.
Yep.
Well, so how do you think that taping process went?
It was a learning experience for all of them. I wish there were more kids. Again, it was tough because it was the first year and it was it was student driven, and the kids are great, but they don't know what they don't know, and they think I don't think they realized how much work it was going to take to get this off the ground. So it took a while, and the kids, it's always the kids who are involved in 100 things who want to do that 101st thing. So all three of them, I think, were involved with the musical. So I think that kind of, but we'll see what happens in the fall. There's a couple of video production classes happening, levels 1 and 2. So with the level 2 class, I'm really optimistic that there will be a little bit more forward momentum with that. So hopefully by midterms, we'll have some, even if it's once a week.
Yeah. Do we know if the kids that were involved in the taping were seniors or underclassmen?
I don't think any of them were seniors.
Oh, great. Okay, so they bring back that experience that
Yes.
maybe didn't go as great as everybody wanted, but hopefully they'll say, okay, well, this is how we would do this better.
Right. And the hope is, there were a core 5 or 6 kids. The hope is all those 20, 30 kids who came to the first couple of meetings come back, because again, it's just, they're kids, it was run by kids, and like, oh, I can't do it today. And, it's just 15, 16-year-old brains not thinking the week ahead.
Right.
Because they don't.
They don't. Yeah. Okay.
They don't. I have a 16-year-old. He barely thinks 3 hours ahead. So I get it.
All right, good. Well, we've got the key pieces, right? We got an advisor and
Yes.
and the two classes going. And at least some kids that we know are engaged, so we build on that.
Yeah, the groundwork is definitely there. It's just, and they, some of these kids got their feet wet. Like the kids who are most interested are the ones who were in that studio making sure things got recorded. So I think as long as you've got those kids, then if each, again, it's like if each of them has a friend or two that come along, then it's like
Yeah.
the old commercial and so on and so forth. I think it'll grow, maybe slowly at first, but that's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't need a ton, you could do it one camera if you had to.
Yep.
Clara, how will it roll out in the school? Do you know any of that or no?
I am not entirely sure. I know that
Okay.
there is a YouTube page that was created. So
Okay,
it could go out by YouTube. I don't know if they're going to live stream it to their YouTube channel. I really don't know what
okay,
the plan is. I've seen some of the curriculum for some of it, but again, it wasn't specific to Trumbull High. It was, this is what I'm using as my framework.
gotcha, okay.
So I don't know. And again, the teachers aren't in. I don't know if anyone's checking email.
And who's teaching the classes?
I'm not I'm not sure who's teaching which class or how many sections, but Jeff Cochran, I believe, will be teaching some of it, who's the AV club advisor. Nick
Okay,
Donna will be teaching some of it.
okay,
And I think Matt Braxick is also teaching some sections as well.
okay.
So there are 3 teachers who are, who are capable of teaching those classes and have to some degree, have the experience to do that, which is great.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have anything else that we need to talk about? Either old or new business?
I don't.
We're good? Wow, 8:30.
Nothing off the top of my head.
Yay. Okay, so our next meeting is August 21st. Then we have October 2nd. We put in an October 30th meeting, as you could recall, to be before the election. So we would have a
Right.
last chance to get set up, and then December 11th. So, and by December, we'll be putting our budget together. So Laura, we get to start that all over again. Okay, all right, and then I'm gonna look back at, okay, what do we get for money? How do we get those projects started? And now that the new fiscal year is here.
Kate, now that we're in a new year, my question for you actually is, do we need to revisit that studio, the server upgrade? We need to look at that.
Yeah, so maybe next week or the week after. I'm like in so many meetings to try to get caught up. So maybe let me know what your next week looks like, and we can find some time to get on the phone for an hour, 45 minutes or an hour, and really just get ourselves on the same page as to what we need to do next.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. All right, that's all that I have. I don't see anything else in my notes, but my memory isn't as great as it used to be. So anything else that you guys are thinking about, worried about, wondering about?
Nope.
Okay, then I'm gonna call the meeting to a close at 8:31. We'll give everybody a half an hour back to the day.
Thank
Cool.
you.
All
Yeah.
right, so see you guys in a couple
Okay.
weeks. Laura, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good,
Yeah.
Kate. Thanks,
Okay,
guys. Good to
thanks.
see
Thanks,
everybody.
Bill.
Have a great day.
Bye.